Welcome to Redvee TV's Instant Reaction, supported by Chapel House for the 2023 season. Following St Helens' 22 points to 12 victory over the Leigh Leopards here at the Totally Wicked Stadium this evening. Kevin, that was a real blood and thunder game of rugby league. If you've got eclectic tastes, that's one for you.
That is how Super League should be, isn't it? An absolutely 100 mile an hour, big intensity, big hits, some good tries. Just one of them games that, you know what, it's been a joy to be part of.
We were talking during the game and we were saying that it's almost becoming a rivalry. Leigh have come up. They've took Super League by storm. They've gone and won themselves a trophy. They're like the cocky upstarts. They've got under the skins of people. It's almost like, well, it's a derby. It's becoming a derby. Whereas, like, you look at like Warrington, and it's almost like pat them on the head. I won't pat you on the head because I don't want to mess the hair up.
I mean, I've haven't got any, so please don't.
But as much as like Warrington is like the little bit of comedy and things in our life, they've got under our skin. They've got under the team's skin. And it showed in that performance tonight.
Yeah, there's a bit of needle there, isn't there? And again, I'm all for that. I love it. I think
it needs
that,
it. The game needs it.
Yeah, I think that, like, them giving us shouts of "Where were you at Wembley?"
Where were you for the last 25 years?
We're us reminding them that we're world champions and current Super League champions.
And they brought a tremendous support, I must say, tonight. Good couple of thousand in that stand. Well worthy of the place in Super League.
That's, again,
Still don't like them.
yeah, I'll go back to it. That's what you want Super League to be. I want to be coming to games and not thinking, right, this one's a little bit of a walk overall. We should win this one. I want games where it is 100 mile an hour, where you've got a good bit of chanting in between fans, where you've got that bit of needle, where you're looking at players and going, I hate them. And it's not hating them because necessarily the dirty players. They have got that needle in them. They've got that.
Don't start.
I'm going to go with Catalan-esque. I think that's a compliment.
Well, the way to play us, as we've seen, is slow us down massively in the ruck and get away with it as much as you possibly can. And they certainly push the boundaries.
They do, but don't get pinged for it. It's a tactic that works. And listen, you've got to find a way to play against teams when they've come up from the Championship. They've found a way against playing against the bigger teams. So it's in fair play to them. If that's what works for them, if they try and copy the team who are in the top, are they top at the minute? Top fourth, Catalan. No, I'm on about Catalan.
Oh, Catalan. Well, we're both Wigan.
Yeah, but if they try and copy their style and it becomes successful for them, then great. They may have to tweak that style as teams kind of find it out and try and kind of nullify that. But it's been great for Super League. That's a great advert for Super League tonight. If you like your rugby at 100 mile an hour rather than snail's pace and a team wins, say, 48-0.
Yeah. First 10 minutes, Saints massively on top. All over. Well, we got field position. We were down on the Leigh line. We couldn't get over the line. We were blunt. And then sucker punch, one attack, Leigh score, and you think, oh no, is it going to be one of them?
We started like a house on fire, and I thought we were going to end like a burnt out house, because it just genuinely just looked like, you know what, we should have been a score, two scores before they've even got that first bit of field position. But they soaked it up. We went in with the absolutely massive intensity, but they've soaked it up, and then, as you say, come down this other end, sucker punch, score the try, go in front, give their fans something to cheer about, silence that West Ham, which I thought was tremendous tonight. And you just get that feeling where you're sitting there thinking, is this going to be one of them games again?
But we dug in, we stuck with it. Great bit of play on this right-hand side from Percy to set Tommy away. Inside ball to Johnny, to Batch. Hints of a forward pass.
John Clark line ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, hints of it. But hints.
It came out the hands backwards.
Yeah, and I think
finished the metre forward.
And that's what they look at.
What's a metre between friends?
Exactly. I thought you said you wanted 8 these.
6-6 at the half. We very nearly got our noses in front, didn't we? We forced a dropout with 30 seconds to go. And at that point, I'm thinking, what are the chances of scoring when you get the ball with 15 seconds left? Just get the ball, drop a goal, go in 7-6 up. We had other ideas. Louis gets put through a hole, thinks he's got the sidestep of Jack Wellesby, and finds out that he hasn't and finishes a metre short. But so close to going in at the half with our tails up. Half-time whistle goes, officials are going down the tunnel. And in a couple of weeks where we've been talking about respect for officials, obviously I thought Chris Kendall had a really good game tonight, handled it really well in a game that was played in a...
Could have boiled over.
But didn't.
Yeah.
It was. I don't think there was a real high tackle in the game. But he was getting barracked from 2,500 Leigh fans and also getting down the banks from Leigh's officials, which I hope he includes in his report, because that is trying to influence match officials halfway through a game. There is no respect for officials there. And when you're seeing that sort of behaviour happen from club officials, then you wonder why it boils over to the terraces. It's all right looking at media and the influence they have, but then clubs need to do better also.
You've just literally stolen the line I was going to say. It's all very well when it's painted towards just media and the media's giving the witch hunt. If you see...
And let me just say, by the way, before we carry on, media, officials, anyone, it doesn't allow you to personally abuse officials like Marcus Griffiths got the other week.
Correct. But you're right, because if you see your club officials getting into the ear of refs or trying to influence, trying to get into their head at the half, or trying to get, I don't know, just trying to have your piece, do that away from the cameras. Ask to speak to the ref in his room. Don't.
And you shouldn't be allowed to do that.
But you don't do it in front of the cameras.
No.
And as you say, we've got fans asking for everything. Who think they're hard done to.
Club officials halfway through a game need to do better.
Yeah.
And listen, it's not limited to officials. Listen,
Correct.
We've never painted it, but if people had a look at the death threats, serious death threats, threatened with getting stabbed, homophobic taunts that we've received, we get it too.
Yeah.
It's not limited to rugby league officials, it's a societal problem. People think they're hard behind a computer screen. We'll probably get a load of death threats after this, and you think we're joking.
Oh, absolutely. We've kept the receipts on these, because if anything serious did happen, then we've got them there from the individuals who have sent us this type of stuff.
Who think they're anonymous?
Yeah.
But they're not.
No. You've got to get up early in the morning to get past.
Yes. But Chris Kendall and his officiating team did really well tonight under a lot of heavy pressure. And the game wasn't about them, but came out second half and allowed the game to flow. Saints got the noses in front and we never looked back. We're getting on to one moment in a minute. We were slightly more clinical. Tommy goes over, Johnny Lomax goes over. But then we allow a Pappy to go in.
You're speaking, not me.
Like a ventriloquist dummy. A Pappy goes in. Well, sets Mulhern in.
Yeah.
16-12, game on. And then there's a play where Leigh go and score in this right-hand corner. Immediately we shout that there was a hand in there. Chris Kendall calls no try because there's a hand in there. But this is where I'm not entirely sure of the rules. For me, whisper it quietly, I had to give a try because the free play's gone out the game. Have we not had an advantage by going through a couple of pairs of hands? If that last pass sticks, we're away down the wing and we're in. So have you had the advantage? How many passes do you get before it's not just play on? We got lucky.
Was it Tom Briscoe who scored? He'd have probably been better off taking the tackle, and then it doesn't get reviewed.
Yeah.
Unless Kendall was actually going to give it.
Either the free plays in the game or it's not.
Yeah.
Because tonight that was a free play we played.
Yeah, it was. It was very Michael Withers 1999 Super League. Was it 99 Super League Grand Final esque? The little touch in midfield that has kind of stopped that. I do agree with you. I do agree that the free play's gone. I just think we need to make it simpler for officials, don't we?
It's like what counts as an advantage. Is it purely metres? So if we'd have gone 5 metres forward before we do that knock on, before we knock on, have we had a 5 metre advantage? But because it's flat across the line, it's not counted as a territorial advantage. For me, I would go with a rule where if you've made 2 passes, it's play on.
I don't even think you
1 pass. You chose to play
on. I think it's just the advantage line. I think if you go past the advantage line,
which we didn't because it went flat across the pitch.
So, in that case, then, is it fair enough because you've not gone past the advantage line? I get what you're saying, and I do agree that there is no free play.
This isn't talking about officiating. This is talking about the rule book.
Yeah,
and I think we've gone away with it. If it had been given, and the decision would have been, you've had the advantage, would we have been able to complain?
I suppose we need to look at the rule before we complain about.
It's right instant, Kevin.
It is why it's interesting. Stop moving out of camera shot, by the way.
He's sitting on the fence.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. If Leigh go 18-16 up at that point, do we struggle to get back in?
Yes, I think we do. I think the momentum's taken out of us, but I think that does give you a lift. It properly gives you a lift, so that you are like, well, they've been done out of a try there. We've still got our noses in front. We've still got the chance here. Because there are decisions that you can chat about. There's another one down here that I'm sure you're going to come on to now.
But before we
stop moving out of camera shot. It's wobbling like everything because we've not got a camera person today and I'm in charge of it, which isn't good.
Redvee Junior's not here.
No.
One thing that does give you a massive boost is the huge hits that we put in tonight. Percival put a beauty in, and then there was an absolute bell ringer.
Yep. Listen, he's...
Do you like that, Kevin?
Yeah, I do. I actually said in scoring the plays that Mark Percival runs in like a man who has no regard for his own well-being. And I think him and James Bell tonight have done exactly that. Putting the body on the line, to use a Steve-O phrase, to really ensure that Saints' defence stays as tight as it can be. Yet we've let a couple of tries in. It happens in a game. But then big hits, especially you look at the first half, they've laid a platform for us. They really have. And thankfully we've been able to, I'm going to call it hang on for the win, because, as I say, that's the type of game I want week in, week out in Super League, to see that intensity.
Yeah. The other decision we're going to come on to was the green card decision, which I thought was odd.
Not even that one.
Oh, I'll let you come to that one. Gaz O'Brien goes down, clutching his leg. The referee issues the green card. Once that card is issued, surely it's been issued and end of. Because they find out they're going to be down to 12 for 2 minutes with us having a set with the ball, they're then allowed to make an interchange on the back of it. Well, surely the green card has already been issued. Surely it should be, right, well, you can make your interchange, but it can't come on for 2 minutes. Because otherwise, that is open to abuse. Say, for example, we're 30 minutes into a half and James Roby is due to come off for Chris Hill for Huddersfield, and they decide just to, do you know what, we're under the cosh a little bit. I'm going to lie down on the floor at the play of the ball, knowing I'm going off anyway. I'll wait till the referee gives me a green card and then go, oh, we're having an interchange.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
A decision's made, it's made. You can't then interchange after that.
Yeah.
That's like saying, well, you've been sin-binned or you've been red carded. Or
I'm going off anyway.
Yeah, we're going to sub you. Doesn't make a decision. Right,
no.
What's the one you want to talk about?
The penalty try, non-penalty try. Had you forgotten about that?
Yeah, game full of instants. Right, so what's that for you? Because for me, he kicks through, the ball's going slowly, he's tackled without the ball. The fact that Chris Kendall then puts it up as, is that a penalty try? Well, the first decision should be, well, you decide whether it's a penalty or not. the decision that the video ref should be making is it a penalty try? For then us not to come away with anything and concede a 7-tackle set doesn't sit quite right.
I think the first thing is I'd love to hear the dialogue. We've sat and watched the game. We've not party to it on Sky. That is something that we'll hear when we watch the replay of the game.
Again, not having to go with officials, we're just talking about the rule book.
Correct. So I'd love to hear what's been said there. However,
we need like a mic'd up. Don't we? Like Premier League mic'd up. We should. Well,
they do. They are.
Yeah, but it doesn't help us in the ground.
No, it doesn't help us in the ground. But
somebody will probably have watched Sky and comment in the video below and go, "Yeah, it wasn't given because of X, Y, and Z."
Yeah, brilliant, great.
Doesn't help me.
We're at the game. We've seen Ben Davies potentially get taken out. And he, in my opinion, and I know I'm saying this with a pair of Redvee tinted specs on, would have reached that ball.
Yeah,
he'd have easily reached that ball, but he didn't because it looked like he'd been taken out. That's the second decision like that. I feel like
I've seen a couple of penalty tries given this season where it used to be, didn't it? To be a penalty try, you basically had to be taken out with the ball in hand.
Yeah.
It used to be you're never going to penalty try because you can't guarantee that you're going to pick it up cleanly and touch down. But then there's been a couple given this season, and then not tonight. It's the inconsistencies, isn't it?
I think once again you talk about the rules, and
no doubt Ian Smith will be telling us this week.
I say this without hearing the conversation in between the video ref and the on-field ref. Make the rules a lot simpler. So, is that a penalty? As he turned into him, as he moved into him, it might be that they say it's just a collision. They both turned for the ball. Ben Davies has been unlucky because he's been caught by him, but he's allowed to turn. There's nowhere for the defender to go. That's what I'm interested in hearing, because for all money in the ground, it looked like Ben Davies would have got there. So it's listening, and it's us learning as well. That, again, I'm not questioning whether Chris Kendall or whoever the video ref was tonight. I'm not saying, oh, they've got that wrong. I'm saying, oh, I just want to hear what they say. To me, in the ground, I'm looking at it thinking, that's, in my opinion, with my Redvee specs on, that's a penalty try. But
at worst, penalty.
Yeah, at worst, penalty. But I'm quite happy to be corrected on that. It's all part of a discussion, and it's part of the scrutiny that's allowed.
What did you think of the interchange tonight from us? Sam Royal didn't get on. I thought we introduced Moses and Mbai too late. We didn't put him on in the first half. Now, Johnny Lomax has gone down a couple of times. Has he been held back in case Johnny can't come back on in the second half and we need to switch around into the halves? So we've just held back. But then I felt we really struggled to get him in the game. And we didn't utilise him best. I don't want to say he had a poor game tonight, but he didn't affect the game because I felt he came on too late.
Yeah, I've not seen much of Moses because I've not been at too many games through being away on holiday. But I thought he looked like he was getting ready to come on in the first half, and then, as you say, because Johnny's picked up a couple of knocks, they've thought, can we get him through to half-time, assess, and then see what we're going to do? I'd have liked to have seen him come on earlier. I'd have liked to have seen Sam Royal used, because they're the games that you learn from. I know it was tight, and I know you don't just start bringing people off just to give lads a run, but they are games that you learn from, and in the heat that we've had as well, I think keeping people fresher and being able to bring them on, this is a terrible idea, by the way.
Quick neck.
Well, just turn your computer or your phone to one side a little bit.
Wedge your telly up slightly.
But, I'm surprised Sam Royal... I'm half surprised Sam Royal didn't get used, but I'm half not surprised that in a game as tight as that, they've decided not to mess about with the second rows. Yeah. Maybe he'd have come on when Ben Davies took that ball up in the air and came down with a crash. Maybe he'd have come on at centre if Ben had needed to go off, because then he'd have brought in a bit of second row stability. All in all, yeah, I think Moses could have come on a little bit earlier, but as I say, I think the reasoning behind that is because they were just waiting to see how we'd go.
Okay, Saints have won by 10 tonight.
Like Kevin said. I was a converted try from each team off getting the right score as well.
Catalan have won by 8. A couple of late tries from mighty Wakefield, who were getting relegated up the trin, but they've done us a favour a little bit. Best of both worlds. I was conflicted tonight whether I wanted Wakefield to win or them to get beat, so tight loss. We'll take that. So they're gone. Mighty Cass staying in Super League. See you next season, Weldon Road. See you later, Hog Roast. Our friends from Cass will be happy watching this video.
They will indeed.
Celebrating tonight. But the points difference is down to plus 13. Catalan have got Leeds at home and then Salford away. We've got a potential big banana skin next week at Warrington, and then Hull at home here. If we can get to that last game within 10, 16 points, would you back us against Hull at home?
I think you'd have to.
Especially if Salford have got something to play for as well, which they potentially might have with chasing Leigh in fourth.
I think you'd have to, but I will caveat that with we need to be more ruthless than we were tonight. Because if you're putting Hull under the sword for the first half, really, I don't think Leigh had that much ball really to talk about in our 20. If you're putting Hull to the sword and going in at 6-all, then you don't deserve that place up. And I know we were talking to Paul. Hello, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
And he said that the game against Castleford has cost us. I'd argue that more the game against Leeds, where we lost by a point, has cost us a lot more than that game has.
I think you could go for numerous games this year where we've not put the hammer down, and hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us. That said, we're all Leeds, aren't we? Mop.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that so someone can clip it.
Mop. There you go, Kev.
that was very sick. That's the most St Helens I've ever heard.
All Leeds, aren't we?
Are we? Can we?
I'm going to be walking along playing Connie like the trumpet.
Fair enough. Okay.
Have our Leeds shirts on tomorrow?
No.
Red.
No.
Oh, that's red, amber, and black. That's Bradford.
Yeah. They're blue and amber. No.
We're still sporting them, aren't we?
Because I have to.
I'm going to the south stand. I've got my drum and my trumpet.
Like a one-man band.
They love us in Leeds, but we're really welcome.
Yeah, of course we
I'll be watching this. Oh, they're talking about us again. First time we've mentioned Joel here, mate. Now you're in corporate tonight, Kevin.
Yes.
Celebrating the fantastic work of the Saints Community Foundation. The walk to Warrington, final receipts, £7,000 to be shared between the Community Foundation and Mind St Helens, who do tremendous work. Well done to everyone, not just you,
not just me. No, it was. You know what? It was a fantastic day. The walk to Warrington was fantastic. Really good chats with a lot of people.
Bigger and better next year.
Yeah, why not?
I'll join you next year.
Okay, that'd be great. But yeah, it was great to chat to people. It was great to kind of do something worthwhile for the local community as well. And I've been on the pitch tonight as we.
I've got a picture of you.
Ah, great. As we handed over the
so proud
the cheque
like a proud dad.
And I know Mike Webster from the foundation wanted us to pass on the foundation's thanks to everyone who supported us, whether that was just messages of support, whether it was donations, whatever it was. They're really grateful, and hopefully we can do more in the future.
Absolutely, obviously, Mind, great charity in St Helens. The work of the Community Foundation is just phenomenal. Yeah. The amount of things in pies they've got is unreal. It's like, I think they've run half the social side of St Helens, especially for the kids.
Yeah, they're fantastic, aren't they? Just what they do, what they get through, the amount of work they get through that you don't even think about. They're a key part of the community and
fabric of the town.
Yeah.
I know they've not been awarded the what's the word?
Freedom
of the town. Yeah, that should be next.
It should be. Because they do absolutely great work, and as I say, hopefully that can continue, and hopefully next season we can do something. I know they were on about.
I'm sure our leader of St Helens Council, massive Saints fan, will be watching this. There you go.
Not to push you or anything, but
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. No, they do great work, and it's a pleasure to kind of be asked to be one of their guests today, and to be welcomed by them, and meet some of the people who are on the walk again. And hand over the cheque. £3,500 to St Helens Mind is a wonderful achievement, and as we say, £3,500 to the Community Foundation so they can continue doing their great work.
If you're still watching us after 26 minutes, go to bed.
26 minutes and not feeling seasick.
Right then.
This is the last time I do this. Are we finishing?
We are indeed. Kevin is going to see us out with a couple of verses of marching on together. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
You got scared that I was just going to cut that off then.
I did.
I wouldn't have.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And we will catch you during the week for Redvee TV, ahead of the mighty wire. We fear them, apparently. Yeah, it might be banana skin.
It might be. We'll talk about that in the week.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Got to finish with that.